was a man and his daughter out for a hike in the mountains, and the daughter looks at her dad, and she looks up at the trees, and she says, "Dad, is it true that God is everywhere?" And he looked down at her and goes, "Yes, sweetie, it's true. God is everywhere." And she said, "Well, I think God just got in my shoe." Children can bring such a sense of wonder and awe and humor to us, and it's amazing. Amazing that yesterday we got to feed many kids. We had a Colorado Feeding Kids event here yesterday. How many of you were there? Were here? Quite a few of you, yeah. It's an amazing event that we had about 90 people, and we packed almost 35,000, over 34,000 meals. Yeah. For children that we don't even know. And it's inspiring to me to witness it. It's inspiring to be a part of it. And it feels good that we're able to do this. That it helps us see how connected we are. That we come together, a group of 90-ish people who have different beliefs and different thought processes and different ways of showing up, and we all show up together on a Saturday morning and pack food, and it's just incredible. Thank Earl and Beth were both here at the first service, and they led it. We couldn't do it without them, but it was fantastic. We're using this book, Wake Up Grateful by Christy Nelson, as our annual theme this year. And so I've been kind of working through the chapters as we go along when there's an opening. This chapter is on being in nature, chapter 10. And in this chapter, Christy opens with and talks about, as most of you know, as I've been talking about it, she was given a stage 4 cancer diagnosis in her 30s. The prognosis was not good, and she went through a couple years of testing, a couple years of treatment, and doctor's office and hospitals, and after 8 months of chemo and radiation, she felt like she deserved a star on her forehead or something, that she was done. She felt like she was done. But the risk of recurrence was so high that her doctor said they wanted her to do a CT scan every 3 months. So after her first 3-month scan, the doctor said, well, the recurrence is extremely, the risk is really high, so we'd like to harvest some of your bone marrow so that if it does come back, we've got something to work with. And she was just heartsick. Just, she thought she was done. And so she says to the doctor, "When will I be out of the woods?" And he said, "You're never going to be out of the woods." I think, take that in. You're never out of the woods. She was looking for some certainty in her life, some way of moving forward, of knowing that death wasn't imminent. But do any of us have that, ever? We never know when our last day will be. We never know when we're going to take our last breath. There's no guarantees. There's no certainty. We're never out of the woods. We never get that assurance that life is going to be just the way we want it, all rosy, all beautiful. It doesn't work that way. But we want it, and we'd like to control it, and we really would rather that things went our way. And so we worry, and we have anxiety, and we have stress. But we just need to look to nature. Look to nature to see how things work, because we're part of it. Jesus says in the 6th chapter of Matthew this, "Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which is alive today and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? Therefore do not worry, saying, what will we eat, or what will we drink, or what will we wear? But strive first for the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. So do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring worries of its own. Today's trouble is enough for today. Today's trouble is enough for today. Consider the lilies. How many of us do that? How many of us get through our days without any worry, without any anxiety? I know, what will you wear? Oh, that's always top of my list. What am I going to eat today? What am I going to wear today? Always thinking about it. Consider the lily. I remember reading a book, and I don't even remember what it's called, but all through the book, it was always like, consider the lilies. Yes, I know, consider the lilies. Don't worry. Be happy. Consider the lilies. Nature teaches us. If we observe, if we look, if we stay awake and aware to it, nature teaches us how life is. And we're part of it. We're part of it. There's a movie in the 1800s, movies, 1980s, Dead Poets Society. Probably a lot of you have seen it, Robin Williams, and he says, carpe diem, carpe diem. Seize the day. He's trying to teach his students, get all you can out of the day. Just seize the day. And with all our YOLO and FOMO and all the stuff that we just, want to make sure we get all we can, and it seems so frantic, doesn't it? So I did a little research. Carpe diem, literally translated, means pluck the day, not seize the day, which sounds a lot more relaxing to just pluck. Pluck a little joy, pluck a little blessing, pluck a little happiness out of your day, something out of your day, and savor that. Don't worry. Consider the lilies. Don't worry about every little minute and getting all you can out of it. Nature teaches us to slow down, that life will unfold, that everything has a purpose, and that it will all work out. Maybe not according to the way we want it to work out, but it all unfolds beautifully. Christy Nelson, when she got that message from her doctor, you're never going to be out of the woods, decided, well, if I'm never going to be out of them, I might as well learn how to live in them. And so she decided, after 2 years of being in hospitals and doctors' offices and getting all these tests done and treatment, that she was going to move someplace else. She needed a different setting. And so she moved to Berkshire, New Jersey. It's a rural, wooded area, small town. Oh, good, my New Jersey person's shaking her head. Yes, I got that right. And her body started to come alive. Now, she's in her 30s, and she's in her 60s now. So something worked. Something worked. She says this: the natural world is the very fabric of life. When we allow ourselves to tune in and pay attention, our earth is perpetually nourishing and providing for us, sustaining life and offering its abundance with a breathtaking and consistent flourish. Amid fields, rain, trees, flowers, plants, animals, sky, birds, oceans, and sun, we immediately grasp our own relative stature. Feeling inextricably connected yet small in relationship with the natural world can lead us swiftly to a sense of the sacred. And I'm sure a lot of you, most of you, have been on a hike, have been in the mountains, and have felt that divine, felt that sacredness of nature. It's a beautiful thing to witness. It's a beautiful thing to be part of. And we have the opportunity here in Colorado, especially, just look at the mountains. I mean, just look behind me, out the window. the sacred. When we can be in nature, it can be like a portal to the divine. Any little bit of awareness of nature, how it unfolds, how beautiful it is. Louis Schwartzberg, I always forget his last name, Schwartzberg was the director of Fantastic Fungi. Probably some of you saw that movie. It was out in 2019. And I watched a TED Talk of him this week. And he said that he's been filming time-lapse photography for like 30 years, 24/7. Like his camera is always on. And you've probably seen some of those time-lapse videos or movies where flowers just open up brilliantly and they're so beautiful. Or he gets really close to a bumblebee or a butterfly. And he said people often say when they see his videos, "Oh my God, oh my God." He said, "Oh" is something that catches your attention. When you say, "Oh," you're immediately brought into the present moment. Oh, I'm here. Look what I'm witnessing. And "my" makes it personal to us. We take it in, we feel it in our soul. When we're witnessing nature in all its splendor and all its glory, we can feel it. We can feel it in our bodies, we feel it in our hearts. We feel the sacred. And then God is this spiritual journey that we're all on, discovering, learning, growing, getting to know who we are. Wanting there to be something greater than us that celebrates life. He said that 80% of the information we take in is through our eyes, through our sight. And so we just need to go into nature, get outside of the air conditioning where there are bugs. It's okay. And so Christy talks about this. How can we do this? How can we be more in tune with nature? Use your eyes. First is look up. Look up. James talked about the clouds in the sky right outside the window. Look up. It's unique. Every moment is unique. The cloud formations, the moon, the sun, the stars. This week there was supposed to be a meteor shower. Did anyone see it? Was anybody in the mountains where it's darker? I got up at 4 o'clock. Kevin got up at 1 o'clock. We both tried to see it. We live in Denver. There's too much light. It wasn't cloudy. We could see the moon and some stars, but you needed darker. Look up. And then look close. Look at something really close up. Look at a rock and the beauty in a rock. Look at a ladybug. Look at a leaf in all its veins. I mean, it's incredible what is available to us to just bring us back to this sense of awe, this sense of wonder. There's a story I read about Wayne Dyer, the late Wayne Dyer, who talked about a friend of his, Jack Boland, who was a Unity minister in Michigan at the church that I used to go to. But Jack had passed 10 years earlier when Wayne's telling the story. And he had a monarch butterfly land on his body 3 times since the time Jack had died, and he always called it Jack, because monarchs do not land on people. Monarchs usually, I wonder what they're doing down there. Don't you wonder what they're doing down there? Monarchs just usually fly away. They don't typically land on people. And so when he would have a monarch land on him, he'd call it Jack. Hey, Jack, There you are, because Jack was fascinated with monarch butterflies, especially with the amount of intelligence in their pin-sized brain, that they have these imaginal cells that know to completely transform into a butterfly from a caterpillar. And so whenever Jack would see a monarch, he would say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," that you had to be in a state of gratitude for this beautiful, beautiful, is it an insect? Can I call it an insect? Okay, thank you. Somebody is shaking their head. Yes, it's an insect. I don't know. So one time Wayne was living in Hawaii, and he decided to take a different path back from the beach to his place. And this monarch landed on him, on his hand. And it stayed with him while he was walking back to his place. And it stayed on his lanai when he went inside to take a shower. And he came back from the shower, and it came right back to his hand. And then it went to his other hand, and it stayed with him for 90 minutes, which is unheard of. And he said all he could do was say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jack, for being with me." So we want to look up, look close, look at things up close, look at nature up close. And then we want to look out. Look out. Look at it. Look out. Look at the mountains. Look at the views. Look at the scenery. Look at a field filled with sunflowers. It's incredible. Look at a sunset or a sunrise. When Kevin and I visit Hawaii, which we try to go about once a year, one of the things we like to do almost every night is look at the sunset, is watch a sunset. Watch the sunset. Watch it go down beyond the horizon of the ocean. It's incredible. We go to this place called the Wall. The locals call it the Wall. It's about this high, and it's just a wall between the road and the beach. And everybody sits on the wall. You bring your little glass of wine, and you watch the sunset. And inevitably, I'm taking lots of pictures, and they're all beautiful and they're all incredible, but how many pictures of the sunset do you need? I need to tell myself sometimes, just stop and enjoy it. Just be present to it. Just love that this is happening, that this nature's way of just lightening up the sky. It's fantastic. There was a husband and wife that were drinking a glass of wine watching the sunset, and the woman says, I love you so much, I don't know how I would live without you." And the husband looks at her, and he's feeling, very, "Is that you or the wine talking?" She said, "It's me talking to the wine." Okay, I just had to throw that in because I was remembering it. Came to me. Okay, so look up. Look close, look out, and then look in. Look in, because we are amazing creatures. We are amazing beings. Look in. In Hinduism, it says that spirituality is a two-step process, that you have to look inward first and recognize all the goodness, all the love, all the innate gifts that we have, and then you bring it forth and you share it. It's love. Pluck the day. Another meaning of pluck is courageous readiness. Courageous readiness for whatever life is going to bring us. Whatever is unfolding, pluck the day. Pluck, in case anyone's wondering what I'm really saying. I know it rhymes with another word. So look in. Look in. Christy Nelson says this: we can be dazzled by ourselves and each other. We can observe the comings and goings of our feeling states and thoughts, growth and loss, relationships, darkness and light, with the same appreciation and curiosity as we do the season and clouds. with our senses awake, our interest peaked for all that already is and all that will unfold, we can know ourselves as fully present to and a full participant in our mysterious experience of life. Nature can show us that, this mysterious experience of life. Life. Know that God is present, maybe in your shoe. You know, and children, aren't they incredible? Like they can bring us back to this sense of awe and wonder. The way they notice things, the way they see things. Yesterday, my daughter sent me a video of my granddaughter Zoe, who's 10 months yesterday. And she was sitting in her car seat, and Tricia said, she's practicing her wave. She's just doing this, and she's looking at her hand, the Queen's wave, right? She's not a McQueen, but, you know, close. Her grandma is. And then she did this hand. I mean, isn't it incredible that she's learning something new every day, learning that she can move her hands at will, that she can wave. Children are amazing, amazing. And so since she was born last October, I've really been thinking a lot about my own mortality. Will I be here when she gets married? Will I be here when she graduates high school? Will I be here when she starts kindergarten? I don't know. We don't know. We don't know when we're going to take our last breath. We don't know when our last day will be. I just know that whenever I'm with her, I want to pluck a little bit of joy every time and just be amazed and in awe at how she is awakening to who she is as a person. I think we all want that for our kids. I want to instill in her this sense of her potential, that she has this innate amount of, an amazing amount of potential, an amazing amount of joy in her, amazing amount of love. And I just want her to know that. I think like most of us, probably all of us, our kids and our grandkids, we want them to get this. I don't know if they get it out in the world, but I know they get it here. I know that whatever they're doing downstairs, those kids are getting the message that they are loved, that they are beauty. I don't know what they're doing. I know they were working on cloud pictures. They're having fun. But to share that with them, you know, I think it's being good stewards of our children, of our grandchildren, that they're, you know, we're only here for a short time. I watched a documentary this week on YouTube called The Voices of the Grandmothers. I was really intrigued by that title. And it was Indigenous women sharing their wisdom, talking about nature and how important it is for us to stay in tune with it, to know that we're part of it. And I know in the book of Genesis it says that God gave us dominion, not dominion to mine out all its resources or cut down its rainforest, but dominion to love it, dominion to take care of it. We are bound to nature. When we take a breath in, we're breathing in oxygen that the trees created for us, that we need for life. We need oxygen to live. When we exhale carbon dioxide, which the trees need for life. We're bound. We need each other to live. And so these grandmothers, these voices, they talk about how we want this beautiful earth to be here for our children, that they and our grandchildren, that they can see the beauty that we see now. We need to take care of it. We need to love it. We need to know that we are part of it. We're part of it. And we don't live forever. We're not going to live forever. That's not the nature of life. That's not how it works. Everything has a cycle. But while we're here, we can appreciate it. We can love it. We can care for it. And they said, in a rushed society such as ours, nature is teaching us, nature is showing us it's okay to slow down. It's okay to just let life unfold. That carpe diem, we don't need to seize the day. We can pluck out little bits of joy, little blessings, and it can be enough because it is enough. We are enough. So I invite you to look at your day. Where can you slow down? Where can you just spend time in nature? Where can you just let nature be a portal for you to experience the divine? The divine that's already in you. The divine that's longing to come forth as love, as peace, as joy, as Beatles music, as whatever it is for you to share, to know our connectedness, know that we're all one. So take a look at that this week. Where can you slow down? Where can you let life be revered and sacred? Namaste. Peace be with you.